Some of the best brokerages, maybe with low fees and other desirable attributes, don't always have the best apps. And some companies with really good, slick apps that are easy to use don't always have the best services behind them. So how do you choose? This is a general guide for how to choose the best app for you. It's not personalized advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but there are ways to think about apps that can be useful to everyone. So for starters, let's just put it on the line. You're not going to get on a small computer screen the kind of analysis that you might want if you're a super active trader. If you look at a picture of a trading desk on Wall Street, these traders have many computer screens arrayed out in front of them with graphs, charts, all kinds of data they can slice and dice. Your phone is not going to be able to show you that level of detail. That said, you may want to consider your trading needs and your data needs and what these apps offer. Certain apps may have better tools for analysis than others, and you'll have to check them out to figure out which serve your needs best. Secondly, apps can be very helpful in terms of notifications. So check out how the app's notifications work. If you're, watching a stock, if you're trying to make a buy or sell decision based on some kind of market movement, you're going to have your phone with you, and your phone may be a great way for you to know, okay, now I'm ready to buy. I've made this decision, and it, alerts you to the moment when it's right for you. Also, it's worth considering, is it going to be available on your phone? Some apps are only available for Apple, some apps are only available for Android, and commonly they're available for both. But before you make any kind of big decision about where to put your money, if the app is important to you, you probably want to make sure that it's available on your phone, so you don't have to change your phone or your brokerage once you realize it's not there. Now, while you're in these app stores, it's also not a bad idea to take a quick look at the reviews that other users have left. Now, any one review, you don't know who wrote it, and it may not be particularly useful in a vacuum. When there are hundreds or thousands of reviews, they often are calling out strengths or deficiencies that might actually be helpful to you in evaluating whether an app will work. Above all, though, it's really worth thinking about this. When we're looking at investing apps in NerdWallet, one of the big things that we value is the strength of the underlying brokerage. If fees are really high, if offerings are really small, you may not want to pay that extra money or sacrifice those extra services just based on the ease of use of the app. So if you look at NerdWallet's list of best investment apps, you'll notice that a lot of these are traditional brokerages that have really established businesses. One of the reasons for that is because they tend to have relatively attractive products for their actual brokerages. Now, when we look at brokerages, you can think of the things we look at in three general categories. Now, there are others, but this is kind of a big picture start to think about what are some factors to consider why a brokerage is good or maybe not as good. So for starters, let's just talk about fees. What is it going to cost you to trade or have accounts? One of the big sources of fees, especially if you're trading a lot, is the actual stock trading fee. What's it going to cost you to trade, buy or sell a stock? Another piece is, are there account fees? Do you have a fee for, having a low account balance? What would it cost you per year just to have an account open? These are various things you can think about. And different companies have all sorts of different ways to charge you for the services they offer. So make sure you look at what you're going to need specifically and what that's going to cost. But generally speaking, those are some of the pieces you might want to consider. The second factor to consider is trading. What is it that you want to trade? The various different brokers are going to have different selections of investments. Are you just trying to buy stock? Are you interested in buying exchange traded funds, which are publicly traded buckets of stock that you can use to diversify your portfolio? Are you looking to buy mutual funds? Are you looking to buy bonds? Are you looking to buy cryptocurrency? Depending on what you want to trade, one broker that has a lot of different options may be a good option for you if you're looking for a lot of variety. Another question when you're looking at investment selection is, if you're selling and buying stock, one thing to think about is, do they sell fractional shares? Do they offer fractional shares? Now, a lot of popular high-valued stocks that are traded quite a bit, Google, Apple, for instance, they tend to trade over $100. Maybe you don't want to put $100 or more into one company. So you might want to buy a little piece of that stock and try to hope that you can grab some of the appreciation if it goes up. Not every broker is going to offer fractional shares. If you think you want to make relatively small trades or trade a lot of different things at relatively small levels, you might want to consider whether fractional shares are important to you. And then finally, we should talk about service. What kind of customer service do they offer? Can you get someone on the phone? Do they have a phone number you can call? Do they have live chat? What are the hours? And beyond that, what if you wanted to do a complicated trade and perhaps you needed a real person to assist you? What is it? Are there brokers available? And if there are brokers available, like human brokers, what would it cost you to do business with one? Finally, a lot of these traditional brokers will have actual relationships with banks that give them, physical brick and mortar locations. And if you may want to visit with a broker or actually talk to someone in person or, make a deposit of a check physically, you actually might want to consider whether there's a branch and whether there's a branch near you. So if you're someone who wants to idly check your investments while you're waiting for the train, most apps can do that. If you're someone who's watching an investment closely and wants to get notifications on when to take some kind of action, that's another need. You can check on that kind of thing. If you're trying to learn about investing and want walkthroughs and guides, apps can have that to offer. So think about what your specific needs are, and then you can look at which apps offer those kinds of solutions. Choosing an app is part of the decision-making process for choosing a broker and deciding how you want to invest your money. These are big decisions, but choosing an app, if you have the right ideas in mind about what you're looking for, does not have to be the most stressful part of that. I'm Andy Rosen. Remember that having a diversified portfolio with exposure to a lot of different things is a good way to insulate yourself against risk. If you learned something from this video, please like and subscribe.